I'm talking donkey. You might have seen a house fly, maybe even a super fly, but I bet you ain't never seen a donkey fly.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, in today's episode, we got part 2 of the practice games review. Now we're going to go to Collingwood versus Richmond, and it was a very close game. If you just look at shots on goals, okay? We don't count how many points they scored. It's not important. Just shots on goals. Just hammer down. We start off with Richmond first, the Tigers. Okay, now there aren't many players that are Supercoach relevant, pretty much from both teams. So this is probably going to be a much shorter video, okay? But we're going to go through everything. And since we mentioned the word short, okay, there's a player here by the name of Jaden Short. Okay, now he taught that he was Zorko the Magnificent. Okay, now Jaden Short played, and now he's going to become Short the Magnificent because he had, like, not many points, 107 Supercoach points, but at half time he had 20 touches. Okay, he ended up finishing on 25, but I didn't see him play much in the second half. He must have tired out. I did notice that he switched off, went onto the bench, and then was replaced by who replaced him? Okay, there's a young boy, trainer replaced him. And then he must have snuck back on, because I didn't see him come back on. But anyway, he took, the first 3 quarters, or the first half of the game, he took no kick-ins, okay, because Collingwood didn't miss, okay. They had like 21 goals, 1 behind or something like that. So that one kick-in, from what I saw, that went to, Vlastuin took that one. Now, I don't know who took the rest of the kick-ins. I wasn't taking much notice of that afterwards, because after 3/4 time, I pretty much was watching one player only, that was Trainer, but we'll talk about him in a minute. But Jaden Short, he's going to make me eat my words, because I said all year I would not touch Jaden Short, okay, and I know last year he came out and scored a 130 and conned in a couple of people. We know he's never averaged huge scores before. But there's something different I noticed about Jaden Short, and that's he was always loose, okay? He wasn't on a player. He was never tagging someone. He was pretty much just like a spare man running loose, okay? And they always looked for him. It looked like a different type of role to any Jaden Short role that I've seen. I've seen Jaden Short play many roles before in the midfield, running the half, but never this role, okay? Never just Jaden Short running amok on his own. But then again, Collingwood don't tag, so we sort of expect Jaden Short to run on his own anyway. But it looked like a good role. Now he's probably gonna con us all in. Okay, we're all gonna get sucked in. All the people that bring him in, we're gonna bring him in, and then we're gonna smash guitars. We're gonna be very upset because he's gonna con us in. But at the moment, how do you refuse? Okay, 420k. Potential, no kick-ins at 107. Imagine you had kick-ins. Imagine Collingwood missed a couple. Imagine if they kicked 10 behinds. That's an extra 10 kick-ins. That's an extra 40 points. You could have won 150. So I'll put him in my team now, okay? So Jordan Short's game looks really good. And I don't normally get conned in by con artists, but I think he's going to do it to me. I think he's going to con me in. I can't come down, okay? And Toby Nankervis. Now, with Nank the Tank, I did his player review. I mentioned his early draw. He's locked in my team. He's been in my team since January or December, okay? It was only 1% owned. Now he's gone up to 2%, so some people have brought him in as well. But I know there's a lot of ruckman, and he's got a good buy round. So I'm happy to start him and then probably trade him out after his buy round. So Nank the Tank... 10 contested possessions in a practice game, okay? I mean, that's huge. I mean, if you look at Collingwood's ruckman, Darcy Cameron, he did okay as well. He kicked the goal, 7 contested possessions. But what works for Nank is he had 22 touches, okay? 11 kicks, 11 handballs. Disposal efficiency, where is it? It's at 86%. he only spent 68% time on ground, so he didn't play he had a big amount of rest, big chunks of resting. So there's another 10% there. He could have added on. He looks good. Okay, I really like Nank the Tank. And if we go further down, some people are mentioning Jack Ross, and he's a good price. Problem with Jack Ross is that, well, for starters, it's a practice game, okay, and Jack Ross doesn't usually score hundreds, okay. He scored 100 this game. I'd be hesitant, okay. I'd be very hesitant to pick Jack Ross. I think there are much better options. Even though he had 24 touches, I mean, Jack Ross had 24 touches. He's the midfielder. Our ruckman had 22 touches. Now work that one out, okay. That's how influential the Nank was. Now we go to Hopper again. He had 31 touches, only scored 94 because pretty much short kicks. 20 handballs, not going to score points from handballs. Same as Ross, 16 handballs. Ross has had 12 contested positions for Ross, so that's an advantage, okay? But I'm not sure. I'd pass on these two. I think there are much better options. I mean, you can go for Tatsatsis. He's like 200k, the Tatsitski, okay, now. And he did the same thing, so you might as well go for the cheaper rookie instead of picking one of these two boys. And going back to Jaden Short, 749 metres gained. That's insane, okay? Even our ruckman was 71 metres gained. That's pretty good for a ruckman. But Jaden Short, it was one of the best games I've ever seen him play. Then we go further down. And Tim Taranto, I don't think he's Supercoach relevant this year, okay? So if you've got him in your team, I wouldn't be too thrilled about it, okay, or thrilled. I wouldn't be too thrilled about it, and I'd probably try to remove him now because I mean, we know he can't kick, okay. Here he is, 52%. He's got no feet, okay. He uses his knees and shins, okay. The toes don't work for Taranto, so you can't kick a football with your shins, and unfortunately, Taranto, that's what he does. So I'd say it's a pass. Now, Blight. He's about 250k. He looks decent, but at 250k, you need him to score usually roughly about an 80. Okay, so his price is too high to consider him as a rookie because he's going to score these 68s. Okay, he only had 12 touches. He did get injured in the last quarter. Looked like a shoulder injury, so I'm not sure about the severity. He didn't come off, so but I'd pass on him. Now going further down, there's anyone here. The whole list, all up to here, is a not good. Okay, you can't get any of these. They're all Supercoach non-relevant. Okay, the only one that's relevant are the cheap rookies. Okay, and one of them is Luke Traynor. He scored 39 Supercoach points in 1.5 quarters. Sims is going to be a very slow burn, so probably no, he won't even play. Okay, Sims won't play. So pass on Sims. Fawcett, he didn't impress, okay? He probably won't play either, okay? The two of them you're going to have Lynch come back, so I don't think these two are going to play. Steely Green didn't do much. McAuliffe didn't do much. I was actually disappointed with McAuliffe's game, although he only had 15% time on ground. But that's not the point, okay? I can't believe he only had 15% time on ground. The one I did like was Bauer, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but again, he's not going to make money. All these players at Richmond, there's not enough. You need the rookies, okay? These are all mid-price, like 250k-ish, but you're paying for what you're getting. The only ones of interest at Richmond are just going to be the top two there. The Nank and Short, and any other rookie that plays, and that's pretty much it at the Tigers. We now move over to Collingwood. Okay, now let's talk about Nick Dacos. Now he's 630k. He has the bye in round 3. Okay, he has a tough draw early on as well. Not an easy draw. I know in round 5, or it is round 5. I think he plays Sydney in round 5. Possible tag coming. Round 6, he plays the Brisbane Lions. Possible Joe Berry tag coming. So he's got 2 tags coming back to back. Could get a price drop. Misses round 3 as well. I wouldn't rush on Dacos. He looks sensational, okay? I know, okay? And it's going to be painful to watch him play for rounds 1, 2, and 4. It's going to be painful to watch for 3 games. Round 5 and round 6, hopefully we can get a bit of enjoyment and he doesn't score much, but he's a Jets, okay? But last year he did the same thing. Scored 100 points in practice game in half a game and then went off. This one, he scored 150 in 3/4 of a game and went off. So, just a Jet. He's going to have a big year. And you need to eventually get him, but we're just got to sort of... you can start him. There's nothing wrong with starting him, okay? So if you think it's a mistake to start him, I don't think it's a mistake. Nothing wrong. But for me, because tight ass at Abs Magic, we can't afford it. Okay, so we're only going for the cheap players like Short. Okay, we're cheap, we're tight asses. Just come down now. Lipinski, he looked good, but he's going to be a winger. Had 37 touches. I'd pass on Lipinski. Maybe good for drafts. Okay, so but nothing else. Perryman. 10 tackles in his game. Tackling machine. 5 tackles in the first quarter. Scored a 122. He did enough. Okay. And again, it's 410k. He played against Richmond. Okay. So don't get too excited. There was no opposition. But he's got a midfield role. And that's all we want him for. Okay. So I'd say I've got him in my team. So I'm giving you the news now that he has signed the contract. He actually signed his contract 2 weeks ago. So he's signed up with Abs Magic and he'll be playing because we go for the cheap players. So we're happy with Perryman. Now, Josh Dacos, he's got a mid-only role, mid-only position in our super coaches. So even though if he had a defensive role, it could be considered, but with the mid-only role plus the bye, I'd pass, okay? Dan Houston, even though he scored a 105, I was actually a bit disappointed that he didn't take many kick-ins. I don't think he took any, okay? I could be wrong, okay? But I didn't see many kick-ins coming from him, and I was looking for it. He's a Jets, but add kick-ins to his Supercoach score, and you're looking at roughly about a 125, okay? So if only he can have 5 extra kick-ins a game, it makes a massive difference. But again, he's got the round 3 bye, so if you can afford to have another player for round 3 bye, then you can consider him. I mean, he is cheap, but he's not that cheap. 575k. Now, going further down, there's not much at Collingwood either. Okay, well, there's Tim Membry. I've got to check his price. What's his price? Supercoach, 309k. That's not too bad. 309k. Are these correct? No, they're not correct. Okay, these prices are not correct because it says Perryman is 309k. Everyone's 309k, so obviously it's not right. How much is Membry? Let's have a look. Oh, well, he's well overpriced. He's 341. If it was like 200 or 180 or 190, I would consider, but not 341. So forget I ever mentioned it, okay? Now let's go back to our summary sheet. So Membry, had a good game anyway, but he's not Supercoach relevant. Darcy Cameron, some people suggesting starting him. You can, he's decent, okay? Had a good run towards the end of last year. He does have that round 3 bye, which is very inconvenient, but he's actually a good price. So he scored an 84, but he was up against the Nank, the Tank. Okay, the Tank played against him, so he did okay. He kicked the goal. Now, going further down, there's not many players here that are relevant now. I mean, we're not going to talk about the side bottoms and the Pendleburys. I mean, these are all yesterday's heroes, okay? But they're getting to the stage now where they're not Supercoach relevant no more. Going further down, McInnes is 200k, okay? But he only scored a 42. Is not good, okay? You'd rather get paid 110 and get a 42 instead of paying 200k. So the role isn't there for him. Going further down, Ed Allen, okay? Now he played. Interesting, he had 61 Dream Team points, okay? That's incredible, okay? He only had played 1.5 quarters, okay? And that's incredible, okay? He had 11 disposals, only scored 30 Supercoach points, so 63% efficiency. So virtually, Allen and my boy here, Trainer, both pretty much had the same time on ground, but Trainer scored 39 Supercoach points and 48 DT, but Allen, 61 DT and 30 Supercoach points. But the only problem is he come on towards the middle of the third quarter, even towards the end. I'm not sure if he's in there starting 22. He could be the sub. You're paying 200K for him. If he was in a starting 22 and you know he's not going to be the sub, I would highly consider him. Okay, I would almost lock him in. But it's just the fact that he didn't start that worries me. Okay, because Collingwood is not a team like Richmond. Okay, Collingwood have got gun players in their midfield, so I'm not sure. Allen's probably going to have a long season and play a lot of games. Okay, but he's probably going to have a lot of sub games as well. So probably a pass for now, unless I see him play. Will Parker, defensive rookie, he's not cheap and he didn't do much, so he's a pass, and that's pretty much it for Collingwood. So players to put on our watch list, okay? Let's put in Dan Houston, okay? He looks like it's the same Dan Houston that was at Port Adelaide, okay? And they did look for him, and he was getting used to the Collingwood game style, and I think he'll suit it perfectly, okay? I think Collingwood targeted the right man for their game plan, so I think they did a good job with Houston. I think also Short actually plays very similar to the way Houston plays, but the only advantage of Short is he can take the kick-ins as well, so gets the extra points, plus he has more action in defence, so good thing with Short at 442k. As I said previously, all year I was against his pick, okay, and I think I'm going to get bluffed into it. He's a con artist, possible con artist, probably going to con me in, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to pull I don't have anything to go by. I see another practice game. I only see one practice game. I've got nothing else to look at. So I think I have to back in my judgment with what I saw. And what I saw is what I liked. So I think, sure, I'm going to lock him in, okay, in my team. Now, also at Collingwood, we have Perryman, and I had already locked in Perryman. So now, because in defence we don't have many rookies, I don't mind getting a couple of these mid-prices. Sort of balances the team out, and if it gets a rookie off the field, so it's the main aim for me now. So I don't mind having these two. Okay, I mean you don't have to have Houston as well, because having Houston and Perryman, you're going to have a few problems on the bye round. But these two looked decent enough to put on field. Now, was there any rookies that we liked in this game? Now, there are players like Blight, okay, but he's 246k. He has to go at 80 to 85. It's just too much, okay? It's a big score. You got Parker. You can leave him there for now. I'm not sure about his job security, but he's 180k, okay? So it depends how rich your club is, okay? Now, we got Caleb Smith, who didn't turn up today, so he didn't play. It was the emergency, so it looks like he's not in the plans, so we're going to have to cross him out. And Luke Traynor is the one I really liked. Surely they have to play him, okay? He looked like the best player on the ground when he came on. So clean. He made one mistake. That's about it. And he was doing a don't argue, and he got caught. But besides that, he took the game on. He was always in the open. So I'd almost field him, okay? If he plays, I'll almost field him and maybe not even pick up Short. I might even change my whole structure, but I'll see how it goes. Now, if we go to the midfield, the Supercoach relevant players were Dacos, okay? He stood out by a mile, okay? I don't think Taranto is Supercoach relevant, and I think Josh Dacos at 480k. If Josh Dacos was in the back line, I would almost get him, okay? But he's not. He's in the midfield, so he can't, okay? And Taranto, I don't think is Supercoach relevant. If you've got him, how many people got Taranto? Let's have a look. Well, only 1%, so no one's got him anyway. Crisp, you can pass on, and everyone has already passed. You've got 0% ownership. Going further down, when's the Goey coming back? Probably pretty soon from the looks of it. Going further down, when's Tom Mitchell coming back? As I say, expected to be confirmed, so there's no time limit on him. Jack Ross, okay, we spoke about. He's got 0% owners, okay. He's 310k. You can gamble on him, okay, but I'm just not sure. I'm not comfortable, okay? Because you got these young Richmond players going to come into the team soon. You got these players going to come in, all right? You got the Smileys and the Lalors to come in. I would rather play these two boys ahead of Ross. I just fast track them. Ross can play as well, but in the same team at Richmond, you also got Prestia going to come in. You got Hopper in the team. You got Taranto. So you got a lot of midfielders here. So I'm not sure on Ross. He may play a bit of the wing, bit of half forward, bit of midfield. So I pretty much would pass on Ross, okay? And now, since I've mentioned Smiley and Lalor, I don't know if they're going to play round one. If they do play round one, would you get them? Okay, it's a gamble. I mean, you're paying $205K. We know Lalor is good, but we don't know if he's going to play a lot of mid or a bit of forward. But he did look good in the first game. It looked a bit like Dusty. Okay, but Dusty didn't score much in his first year. You got to consider that. Okay, Dusty went about 70-ish from memory. Actually, we can confirm that. Let's have a look. We can't because we don't have it anymore. But I think he went about 70 in his first year. Smiley, I don't even know if he's going to play. We know he had a hamstring and he's recovered. But with no practice games, are they going to put him straight in? Maybe they will. Okay, we'll find out. There's also Ed Allen, which we mentioned, but with Ed Allen, we don't know if he's a sub risk, so that's a bit risky. Okay, you're paying 200K. When you pay 200K, you want your player playing. Okay, if he's 117K, you can put him on the bench. Okay, sub risk not a problem, but 200K is a lot because he's going to fall in price if he only plays one quarter. Unless he scores the way he did this game, then he won't fall in price. But one quarter is always risky. We go to the rucks. And both teams have got decent ruckmen, okay? Now, Nanka's in my team, and you already knew this anyway because I said it from December onwards. I said Nank's in my team. Now, Nank's in 2% of teams. Darcy Cameron's in 6% of teams. Darcy Cameron also has 2 bye rounds, so Nank is more favourable. If you're going to go Darcy Cameron, he's decent, but you got to keep in mind also, Mason Cox is due to come back in soon, okay? So he may take some of Cameron's ruck duties, okay? So just keep that in mind. But they're both very much good picks if you pick them both, but I wouldn't start Cameron because of that bye round because you got so much value here in Perryman. You got Dacos. You can't have all of them, okay? So but I'll leave him there for now. In the forward line, well, we saw Lipinski go nuts, but he did the same thing last year, okay? I don't trust, okay? It's too risky for me, so I'd pass on him. Going further down, Membry, 341K, it's just too much, okay? I'd pass on that. Going further down, is there anyone of any interest here? I don't think there is, actually. I mean, you got these mid prices, they virtually score what they're priced at. I wouldn't worry about Campbell, these type of players, like even Bauer, Sonzi, 213K. I mean, Sonzi's not too bad for 213K. What did he score? Sonzi, how did he go? Problem is he has a wing roll. Okay, Sonzi on the wing scored an 86. Had 13 kicks, 5 handballs. It's not too bad. He could be a shout out actually, because if you think about wing rolls, okay, you go to Frio, okay, and everyone loves this man, okay, and they're talking about him highly, and he's got the same role, okay, which is Nathan O'Driscoll, okay, but the difference here is Sonzi has a forward role, okay, so the role is, the position in our team is better, okay, because it's better to pay an extra 10K and get someone up forward, so Sonzi is an option at 213K, it is cheap enough, Bauer is not, so you can keep Sonzi in mind. He's also a decent kick, kicking efficiency, what was it, usually he's a very efficient kick, went at 72%, so it's not too bad. Now, was there anyone else in this forward line that we haven't mentioned? Let's have a look. Well, we didn't see... Well, we saw McInnes play. We didn't see Tom Lynch play. McInnes 200k. I don't think so. Okay, pass. I'd rather, if I'm going to pay 200k, I'd rather pay 213 against Swansea. I think a much better option. Actually, I might even consider Swansea. I didn't know he was that cheap. Okay, something to think about. Let's have a look at Swansea's past. What has he done in the past? Okay, we've got some scores here. 38, 33, 47. Okay, I'm not looking at these sub-scores. So where did he play in this 38? Looks like a wing. Okay, at 200k, it is a bit risky. Okay, unless he's improved big time. But these are risky scores. 38, if we add them all up, okay, 38, 47, 48. There's nothing here that's big. Okay, only one big game, 81. I would say, I'd say it's a pass. Okay, going on previous history. Okay, I can't predict the future, so I don't like to pick a player based on possible breakouts. Okay, so I'll leave him there, but I'm going to pass on Swansea. Is there anyone else here that's of any interest? So we saw Stilly Green, but he didn't do much, so I'd pass on him. If he played for Hawthorn or if he played for Collingwood, I would consider him. Plays for Richmond, the ball it doesn't come in that neatly, so I'll probably pass. Anyone else? Fawcett is 119k. I'm not sure if he's going to get a game. Armstrong is 113k. Sims is 113. These are all cheapos, okay? Probably later on, these will all be downgrade options, okay? So you can cash in and get these players in later on. But the problem is all three of them are talls. They're not going to score much, okay? They need to kick goals. And at Richmond, kicking goals is not easy, okay? Even in a practice game, only 6 goals. So they're all going to be slow burns when you get them. Another player to consider, well, we were hoping he would see him a bit, was Alga, but he's injured as well. Okay, what's happened to him? Knee subject to fitness test, so we didn't see Alga. I would say Alga probably has a better chance of getting a game ahead of ahead of Fawcett and ahead of Sims. Armstrong still may play, okay, so but I think Alga would be ahead of these two because Alga's more of a player, a bit more like Toby Green, a bit of a taller, shorter type player, so probably a bit more useful in the Richmond forward line at the moment. But that's pretty much summing up the whole game. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for joining, and remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.